Good morning everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. It is Sunday today, and on Sundays I generally do a chat video. I'm out here fairly early in the morning to do this today because I've been doing my daily videos and I've been getting them out at the same time every day, and I thought, well, I'll get my chat video out today at the same time so that people who are expecting a video still get one. I'm up to I've put day 4 up yesterday. I've done day 5 and day 6. I'm just going to do this video for today, and then I'll do day 5 and day 6 following on whatever. So day 5 was pineapple and day 6 was 20 kilos of pig fat turned into lard. So they are coming. But today is the chat video. So over this week, there's been a lot of food prep that's happened and not a lot else. We did get the structure done though. So this is going to be our new seed staging structure. It is a 4.5 by 3 meter. It was supposed to be galvanized steel frame, but it appears to be aluminium. I am still chasing the supplier up about that because I'm a bit frustrated. I paid extra hoping for galvanized steel and it doesn't appear to be that. So we covered it with shade cloth. We're going to put a door on here. We have a screen door that we're going to create a frame to put on here because at the moment this is not going to work to be able to walk in and out of. But inside is completely sealed. So let me make my way inside with difficulty and then I'll show you the inside. All right, so the inside is completely covered in 50% shade cloth because the point is that this is going to be for seedling staging, so we wanted protection. I did think also that I have all the pineapple tops that I'm going to try planting, and they don't like frost, especially not when they're establishing. So what I might do is I might plant them in here over the winter and protect them in here and anything else that I think I might need. So what we've done when we did this too is that we tucked the weed, so there's weed matting on the ground. Let me turn you around. We have this weed matting on the ground and then we have this shade cloth as well. And what we've done is we've doubled them up and we've used staples to staple everything down onto this timber that's along the side. And this is cypress timber, so it's weather resistant, termite resistant, all that sort of thing. And what we're going to neaten it up a little bit, create some box squares and things like that. But the idea is that we create a box all the way around and make it completely sealed. Mice won't dig up through the weed matting, theoretically. No grasshoppers or anything will be able to ingress through the shade cloth, and so long as we put that screen door on there so that the screen door, so that where this overlaps here is going to have the screen door on there. You can see the screen door that we've got in the pile of bits and pieces there of rubbish and stuff that we're cleaning up, and we had to move stuff. So we've got a screen door that we're going to put on here so that can be open and closed, which means that there's less ingress for anything to come in as well. So that is the plan for this space. Now, because it has a curved side, putting upright shelving here can be challenging because of the restrictions. So what I think I might do is buy Bessa bricks and create my own low line shelving. So create 2 levels of shelving all the way along the walls. And then that way we'll have plenty of length of shelving, but not the excess height, which is good for watering and stuff too, and being able to observe the plants and things like that. So that's the plan at the moment. We're nearly getting there. So we just need to clean up the box around the edges and make sure that everything is sealed down so nothing can get in, and then we should be good to start using it. So we're running late for getting, I really wanted to try and do another batch of summer plants because none of them worked. So what are we? We're almost the end of February. We generally get our first frost in May. So realistically, I could still, if I manage to get this done this week, I could still probably start a dozen zucchinis and get a bunch of zucchinis before it gets too cold for the plant, and probably some cherry tomatoes. Probably not beefsteak tomatoes, but probably cherry tomatoes. So I will give it a go. We might be lucky and we might not get any hard frosts till the end of May. You know, the first frost for the last few years has been about mid-May, but it's not necessarily a hard frost. And inside our grow space is covered in a lot of shade cloth and netting and stuff, which does protect it to a degree from frost. So if it's not a hard frost or a prolonged frost, sometimes the plants keep producing through there. I think I'm going to be too late for chilies, but again, I might give them a go. Since I've got the space set up, it's a lot cooler in here because it's shade cloth, which is nice to start, though my potting table won't fit in here, not neatly, especially not We probably should have moved it in here before we put all the covering on. Hindsight and all that. But yeah, it probably would have been nice to have sat right at the back here in the shade cloth covered area and then had all my shelving around the sides. I might be able to talk Darryl into pulling some of the shade cloth back enough for me to pull it in here, because it would be cooler in here than a lot of spaces that it would go, sort of thing. So we shall see. I'll make that decision this week, and then I'll show you next week what I did. So this is coming along, which is really good. I've been wanting this to be done for a while. It has been slow progress, but there's forward momentum on it, and anyone who's been around for me knows I say progress, not perfection, and that is really the big thing. It doesn't matter, to a degree, it doesn't matter how slowly that progress is, so long as there's forward momentum, and I can only nag so much. So before it becomes too much of an issue for me and for Darryl and the kids. So to a degree, I nag for things to be prioritized, but at the same time, I can only do what I can do. So that's fine. And this week I've been flat out with all the food prep, so that makes it hard. What else? We have guinea fowl that we had in the incubator have hatched. I'll put a little clip in here for you. We had like 20 eggs that we pulled off the nest, but at 7 days I had to pull some out that did nothing, and then at 14 days there was some more that hadn't done anything, etc. So we have no idea how well they're fertilized, because it's a nest that's laid out in the paddock, and we don't even know the sex of our guinea fowl. There is ways to tell apparently, but we have never been particularly accurate about it, and at the same time we don't care. Our guinea fowl free range, we just need to bump up the population. So because the guinea fowl free range and because they nest out in the open, each year we tend to lose a couple because they nest on the ground. So when they're not nesting, they sleep up in the top of the trees and they're safe. When they're nesting, they tend to sleep on the ground, which is where predators can get to them. So we only have, I think we have 4 at the moment. That's it from all of our flocks. So we were hoping to hatch a whole bunch to bump that flock up, because they're a fair bit of work. They're pretty fragile as chicks. They have to be kept caged for at least until summer, and you need to have a tall cage because they roost really high, and if you don't give them a tall cage to learn to roost really high, then they don't do it when you're released. We've had lots of issues with raising guinea fowl, trying to release them and them not roosting at night, and then them all going missing and things like that. So what we've found is that we need to keep them in a cage for at least 4 or 5 months, and then that cage has to have high roosting so that they learn to roost up high, and then once they're released, we have to have that cage accessible for them so they can come back to it if they really want to, but we have to be observant of them as well. Ideally, you'd want a flock of a dozen or more for us, because what they do is they walk the perimeter of the property, and we don't have ticks because of it. So they're supposed to be good for keeping snakes away, though we have had a few snakes this year, but the snakes have all been inside our fenced yard where the guinea fowl don't go, because that's where the dogs go. So I don't know, but they make a lot of noise. Like if the goannas are around and things like that, they make a big lot of noise, which means that you can go and investigate what it is that they're making noise about, and that helps to, it's a bit of a warning system. All right, what else this week? I might wander out and give you an update on the chickens, because the chickens have all grown a lot, and some of the purebred ones that we're breeding are gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to figuring out roosters and hens and getting them into some breeding pairs so that we can breed some more of them. The Hamburgs are absolutely beautiful. So the Hamburgs are supposed to be really good for free ranging, mind you. We won't be free ranging them, but they are supposed to be early maturers and prolific layers once they get started. So that'll be nice. But they're a really pretty bird too. They have these big fanning tails. It's lovely. So I'll take you around and show you them. Other than that, there hasn't been much. The grey water is working, which is fantastic, but there hasn't been much recovery of the plants that it's finally going on. That's fine. The fruit trees are they're doing better with the regular water, but we're still having some issues with those. I will try and get the ground cleared up around them and stuff over the next week or two, and I'll take you out there and walk you through them again as well. Hopefully we can get them to perk up with another week of water. We did get some rain. There was a short that I showed, the hail was coming into the kitchen. So we did get like 50 mils of rain that day, which would have been really good for the fruit trees, would have soaked the ground around them, so that's great. But we haven't got any more on the forecast anytime soon, so we shall see what happens there. The grey water is working though, so that's a boon. I think that's sort of it. So let me wander out to the chickens and then I'll have a chat. We've got a lot of new viewers this week with the grocery trip and the daily videos. We've got a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new people around. So we might do a Q&A maybe. Let me walk out to the chickens and we'll show you that and then we'll discuss it. We got the guinea fowl up in a tree here. So that's what they do at night. They roost up in the trees and make lots of noise. So that's that noise that you hear on my videos all the time. That's them calling to each other. I don't know where the rest of them are. They normally are together, but obviously this one's here chatting. So chicken wise, this is the old flock, but we added in some of the new hens and stuff. There's those 4 there were new hatches that it got old enough to be added in to this pen. So this is all the old girls. We're trying to get some hay in. We haven't got hay recently because new season hay has just come out and we don't want new season hay, we want old season hay because the new season is too expensive and the old season is cheaper, and we just want it for bedding more than anything else. They still pick through it and eat it, but it's more just for bedding. So we are trying to get some of that this week from when Darryl needs to go towards Toowoomba area, but other than that they're all doing well. The rescue chickens are all looking good. They we got Fox with his girls here. It's not focusing very well through the fence, but if I open it they'll all launch at me because I'm out here and, you know, I must have food if I'm out here. So the rescue chickens are doing well. And then we moved all the ducks into the main duck pen. So I think I've shown you that recently. So all the ducks are in the... Oh, guinea fowl flew down behind me. All the ducks are in the duck pen now and they love to come and chat. They don't try to get out of the pen, they just like to come and talk, don't you? Hello, 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 hello. What you doing? Hello. Do you guys need some? You got plenty of water? You do? Are you hungry? Oh, don't eat me. Hey? Hey? They love to be talked to and they like to clean and be petted. These ones were hand reared, so, but yeah, so the older ducks don't tend to come and say hi, but the younger ones definitely come and say hello, and they like to be petted and cleany and stuff. So the ducks are all in together. I will come in, I'm gonna go and grab the kids and bring them out. I think they need some food and some scraps. So that's the ducks. This is our feed shed. We have a couple of roosters from the most recent hatch. So these ones can't be put in with the other hens because they just fight. So we got a couple of pretty roosters in here that we will either put in with the roosters that are in with the pigs, or the better option would be to cull them and eat them, but we just haven't got that process down pat yet, so we shall see how we go with that. But they are very pretty roosters. And then we've got the last pen, which has all the youngest birds in it. Everything's a bit of a mess out here because it's still in progress as per usual, like everything, but we have all the young. Let's see if I get focused through the fence rather than on the fence. All the young birds in here. No, it doesn't want to focus through the fence, does it? Get a bit closer. Let's see if we can go. There we go. So all the young girls. We got some, the Hamburg up there. Oh, not gonna it's not tracking. Let me bring you inside because this has got to be a bit annoying. So all the, stay in. All these, so the little black and white one there, little black and white one there is a Hamburg. And we've got potentially some Wyandottes, some Australorps, and some Aracuna. There's at least one Aracuna in here, but the little black and white ones are lovely. So we've got a range of purebred chickens here too, and they're getting quite large now. Oh, that's the little fluffy faced one, and the white one in the back there looks to be potentially our only Aracuna, but she's pretty and she's one of Apollo's favorites. So they're all doing well as well. And we still have the tractor set up out here just in case we need to isolate anyone. We did have to put Fox in here for a couple of days because one of the girls was picking on him. One of the issues with having a white rooster is if he ends up with an injury of any sort, it bleeds, it's red, all the chickens go for the red, which is unfortunate. So we do have this isolation spot out here that we will use if necessary for chickens, but we're still in progress. So for anyone who hasn't watched before, the plan eventually is that this will go out one more pen, and then it'll come back in a U shape all the way to the point where this one starts, and all this center here will be cleaned up and it will be fenced in as well. And then that way we can have this central area that is safer to put things like tractors and stuff in. We did have an incident. We had some baby chicks in this tractor and some dogs got into it and took a couple of the baby chicks. So having it like this is not ideal for young animals. It needs to be a bit more secure. So the plan is that all this middle here will be cleaned up and we can put other stuff in here. I'm probably going to plant some greens and stuff for the animals because we can tip any of the animal water into it if we need to tip any animal water out. And then it'll be a U shape, so we'll have a fence line running across there with a gate as well, and then more pens down the side here so that we can have some of these breeding pairs in those pens and we can breed some more of these purebred. And then if anyone local wants any of them, then we have them available, but also because the more egg layers the better, and potentially for eating as well. So I think that's a good solid update for what's been going on this week, and to check out the animals and things like that. Yeah, so that's where we're at. If you are new here, then there has been a few questions in the comments and stuff. I have answered as many as I have seen, but what I might do is I might put next Sunday's chat could be a bit of a Q&A type, FAQ type thing. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, put them in the comments of this video, and what we'll do is I will answer as many as I can or will. Of course, there's some questions that I may not address because I don't have to, but generally speaking, I'm pretty transparent. So ask the questions and I will do that next Sunday for my chat video. The other thing is that this month is my 12th month monetized, and I did consider doing what YouTube paid me in my first 12 months monetized video. They do quite well on YouTube, which is potential to bring new audience, but also because I find it really interesting. I go and watch them and other people's, especially their first 12 months and things like that. Have a look at the comparisons. It varies extraordinarily between channel niches and locations and things like that, but it's still kind of interesting. So let me know if you'd like me to do that as well. What YouTube paid me in 12 months there, obviously that's pretty much no profit because everything's been spent on getting it all sorted, but it's still interesting. So let me know if you want me to do that. Any other questions that you'd like me to address in the next Sunday's chat video. Otherwise, I'm going to keep on going with the daily videos. It'll probably be at least another 5 or 6 of those to get through everything that's in the fridge and stuff to get done. I'll do a what we eat in a week video again, 2 of them this month, like I've been trying to do for most months and things like that. Let me know any other things. There is a few subjects that people have asked that are just really hard to put into a video. The homeschooling stuff, I'll get there, but it's just going to take me time. And some of the solar stuff and things like that. Hit me up with the questions and I'll answer as much as I can, and we'll go from there. So thank you everyone for joining me, and welcome to everyone who's new here. I'm really glad to see you, and I'm grateful for the audience and for everyone who watches. It helps the channel to to have these boosts in viewers, which is great and makes it feel more worthwhile to keep on sharing when there is so much interaction in the comments. So thanks guys, and I will see you again tomorrow. See you later.